Let's pause everything you've heard about blood pressure or cholesterol, because there's another danger, more silent, more serious, that almost no one is talking about. A type of fat hidden deep inside the body, capable of triggering a stroke without warning. Most people only discover it when it's already too late, and by then, the damage is often done. In this video, I'll share 5 simple tips that could completely transform your health. No complicated routines, no prescriptions needed. Just small, powerful strategies to help you take back control of your body. And stay with me until the end, because tip number 5 reveals a secret about your second brain. A discovery that might completely change the way you see your body. Take a moment. I want to tell you about someone I once met. His name is Joe, he's 80 years old, and he lives in a small, remote town in North Dakota. Every night before bed, Joe sits quietly on the edge of his mattress, folds his hands, and whispers a prayer. He doesn't ask for much, just peace, health, and protection for the people he loves. But there's one more thing he always does. He recites the names of loved ones who've passed on. His late wife, his 2 older brothers, his best friend from high school. I say their names because when I do, it feels like they're still here, in my heart. Joe lived a simple, steady life, but there was one habit he never gave up. Every morning, he'd start his day with a strong cup of coffee, 2 spoonfuls of sugar, and a splash of heavy cream. Just a little joy, he'd say with a smile. Been doing it since my working days. Then last winter, Joe had a mild stroke. The doctors traced it back to chronic inflammation caused by hidden visceral fat, something he'd never even heard of. And that's why this video matters so much. Because as Joe lay there in the hospital, blinking at the ceiling, he found himself asking quietly, "Did I really just have a stroke?"
Tip 5. Omega-3s. For years, we've seen them advertised as heart-healthy on everything from fish oil capsules to fortified juices. And while that's true, it barely scratches the surface of their profound importance. Their most critical role in stroke prevention isn't just about general heart health. It's about their direct power to fight the inflammation caused by hidden visceral fat. Think of inflammation as a slow, invisible fire burning inside your blood vessels. It's a chronic irritation that makes your vessel walls stiff, damaged, and prone to forming the dangerous clots that can lead to a stroke. In this scenario, omega-3s aren't just helpful. They are your body's elite firefighting squad. Here's how the battle plays out. That dangerous visceral fat doesn't just sit there. It's an active factory, constantly pumping out inflammatory molecules called cytokines. These are the sparks that start and fuel the fire in your circulatory system. And this is where omega-3s come in as the heroes. Your body uses them to create powerful, specialized compounds called resolvins and protectins. Notice the root word resolve. These molecules don't just block inflammation, they actively resolve it, cleaning up the damage and signaling the immune system to stand down. By getting this fire under control, you are directly lowering your risk of a catastrophic clot in your brain. So how do you recruit these firefighters? The gold standard remains cold water fatty fish, which are rich in the most effective forms of omega-3s. Aim for at least 2 servings a week of choices like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, or sardines. For those who prefer plant-based sources, excellent options include ground flaxseed, chia seeds, and walnuts. A crucial note on safety. If you are taking any blood-thinning medication, such as warfarin, Eliquis, Xarelto, or even a daily low-dose aspirin, you must be careful. High doses of omega-3s can amplify their effects and increase the risk of bleeding. Always consult with your doctor. Tip 4. Fueling your metabolic engine. Think of your metabolism as a complex engine. Most of us focus on the main fuels, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. But feeding it just those while ignoring the micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals, is like putting cheap, low-grade gas in a high-performance car. The engine is bound to sputter and will never reach its full potential. That buildup of visceral fat is partly due to this sluggish metabolic engine. The key to getting this engine running smoothly is in the essential additives we so often overlook. Today, let's focus on two of these micronutrients that are the silent heroes of blood vessel protection and stroke prevention.
First up is magnesium, the relaxation mineral. This powerhouse is involved in over 300 processes in your body, but one of its most vital jobs is to help the walls of your blood vessels relax. When they're relaxed, your blood pressure naturally improves, easing the strain on the delicate vessels in your brain that can lead to damage. You'll find it in abundance in foods like spinach, almonds, avocados, and even dark chocolate. Our second hero is potassium. Think of potassium as the perfect balancing partner for sodium, from salt. While too much sodium can drive up blood pressure, potassium helps your body balance fluids and flush out excess sodium, helping to keep your blood pressure in a healthy range. So instead of only focusing on cutting salt, proactively boosting your potassium intake from sweet potatoes, bananas, tomatoes, and beans gives you a powerful 1-2 punch of protection. So, what's the game plan? It's not about rushing to the pharmacy for a bottle of pills. The safest and most powerful advice is simply to eat the rainbow. A colorful plate of fruits and vegetables doesn't just deliver magnesium and potassium, it gives you hundreds of other micronutrients, all working together in harmony to keep your metabolic engine tuned up and running at its best. Tip 3. Master your night's sleep. Many of us think of sleep as just a passive timeout, a time when the body simply shuts down. But the truth is the complete opposite. While we sleep, the brain's most dedicated and efficient cleaning crew is just starting its shift. This amazing process is called the glymphatic system. While you're asleep, your brain cells actually shrink slightly, creating channels for cerebrospinal fluid to wash through. Think of it like a power wash, flushing away the metabolic waste and toxins that built up during the day. This cleanup process removes the very proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease and the kind of vascular damage that can lead to a stroke. It's a free, built-in self-repair mechanism that nature gave us, but it only works effectively when we get deep, quality sleep. So, what's this got to do with visceral fat? The connection is incredibly direct. When we're sleep-deprived, our bodies produce more cortisol, the stress hormone. This spike in cortisol acts like an alarm bell for your body, signaling it to store more fat, especially that dangerous visceral fat around your organs. And as we've learned, the more visceral fat you have, the more that fire of inflammation rages inside you.
The goal, then, isn't just to get 8 hours. It's to create the perfect work environment for your brain's cleaning crew. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Create a relaxing wind-down routine for the hour before bed, like reading a book or listening to calm music, instead of watching the stressful nightly news. Most importantly, stay away from the blue light emitted by phones, tablets, and TVs. It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, disrupting your body's natural production of the hormones that help you sleep. Before we continue, if you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to support our channel. Tip 2. Ditch the scale, grab a tape measure. Now, we're going to get into a truth that might feel a little uncomfortable, but it is absolutely necessary. For years, you may have been doing everything right. You watch your weight on the scale, and maybe you've even lost a few pounds. But why do you still feel sluggish? Why does your blood pressure still seem to creep up? And why is there that nagging feeling that something just isn't right? You look in the mirror and you don't see an obese person. So why does the sense of health risk feel so real? The crisis comes with this realization. Your bathroom scale has been lying to you. That's right. The body mass index, or BMI, can be dangerously misleading. Its problem is simple. It cannot tell the difference between muscle and fat. And most importantly, it can't tell you where that fat is located. A person can have a normal BMI while carrying a large amount of hidden visceral fat that is silently wrecking their health. The answer lies in a much simpler tool, a tape measure. The number it gives you is a far more powerful indicator of your stroke risk than your total body weight. According to U.S. health guidelines, a waistline over 40 inches for men and over 35 inches for women is a warning sign that you are carrying high levels of visceral fat. It isn't a number for judging your appearance. It is a critical piece of medical data. Take a minute. Measure it right now. Measure around your stomach, level with your belly button. That number is your new starting point. This is a moment of truth, and it's the turning point that sets us up for our most important strategy of all. Tip 1. Nourish your second brain. Remember that second brain we mentioned at the beginning? It's time to reveal its secret. A secret that isn't in your skull, but deep within your gut. That second brain is your gut microbiome, a complex community of trillions of bacteria living and working there every single day. For decades, we overlooked their role, but modern science has now delivered a stunning answer, and it's the awakening we've been looking for.
Picture the lining of your intestine as a tightly controlled border gate. In a healthy state, it only allows properly digested nutrients to pass into your bloodstream. But when the microbiome is thrown out of balance, a condition called dysbiosis, this border gate starts to become leaky. When that happens, inflammatory molecules, toxins, and even undigested food particles can escape the gut and enter your circulation. They are like intruders who have broken through a border fence, now roaming freely throughout your body and heading straight for the delicate blood vessels in your brain. In other words, your gut is literally talking to your brain. And if that conversation is hostile and inflammatory, the consequences can be dire. This chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the root causes that drives the hardening of the arteries, increases the risk of blood clots, and leads to a stroke. The problem isn't just about blood pressure or cholesterol, it's about the health of the microscopic ecosystem living inside you. So how do we change this conversation from hostile to friendly? Our strategy has 3 parts: feed the good guys, bring in reinforcements, and starve the enemies. First, feed the good guys with prebiotics. These are special types of fiber that your beneficial bacteria love to eat. You can find them in everyday foods like garlic, onions, asparagus, oats, and slightly underripe bananas. Providing prebiotics is like adding rich fertilizer to a garden, helping the good bacteria thrive. Next, bring in reinforcements with probiotics, which means adding live beneficial bacteria directly into your system. Fermented foods are your best source. Try adding plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, kefir, a fermented milk drink, or sauerkraut to your diet. These allies help reinforce your gut's population and diversify your internal army. Finally, and just as important, you have to starve the enemies of your gut. The chief culprits here are sugar, ultra-processed foods, and artificial sweeteners. They feed the harmful types of bacteria, creating dysbiosis and fueling inflammation. This isn't a quick fix. Think of it like tending a garden. You have to patiently pull the weeds, avoiding the enemies, add the fertilizer, feeding with prebiotics, and plant good seeds, adding probiotics. Slowly but surely, you aren't just improving your digestion, you are actively reducing systemic inflammation, protecting your blood vessels, and shielding your brain with every healthy meal you eat. Continue learning by watching our videos on the early warning signs of stroke and how to prevent them on our channel.